Welcome to G Fun Facts Online. Imagine an animal that carries a high-definition, dynamic invisibility cloak, a creature that can vanish in the blink of an eye, not by magic, but by mastering its own biology. Today, we're diving deep into the world of cephalopods, the class of animals that includes octopuses, squid, and cuttlefish. They are the undisputed masters of disguise, and their secrets are not just rewriting our understanding of biology, they're providing a blueprint for the future of technology. So how do they perform these instantaneous costume changes? It's not a single trick, but a symphony of specialized systems working in perfect harmony, a multi-layered masterpiece of evolution. Let's peel back the layers of their incredible skin. The first and most famous layer is composed of organs called chromatophores. You can think of these as millions of tiny, pigment-filled balloons embedded in the skin. Each chromatophore sac contains a single color, typically yellow, red, brown, or black. What's truly ingenious is that each sac is attached to a set of tiny, dedicated muscles. When the cephalopod's brain sends a signal, these muscles contract. They pull the pigment sac outwards, stretching it from a tiny dot into a wide, flat disk of color. This is like turning on a pixel. When the muscles relax, the sac's natural elasticity makes it shrink back into a nearly invisible dot, effectively turning the pixel off. This entire process, from dot to disk and back again, happens in a fraction of a second. An octopus can control tens of millions of these chromatophores individually. It's a living, breathing, biological display screen that can change its entire image in less than 200 milliseconds. But relying on just a few pigment colors is limiting. The natural world is filled with blues, greens, and shimmering metallic sheens. Cephalopods can't produce these pigments, so they evolved a different solution. Beneath the chromatophores lies the second layer, made of cells called iridophores. These cells are structural colorists. They don't use pigment. Instead, they contain stacks of platelets made from a unique protein called reflectin. These stacks act like tiny, sophisticated mirrors. They reflect ambient light, and by changing the spacing and angle of these protein platelets, the cephalopod can select which wavelengths of light to reflect. This is what creates their dazzling, iridescent blues, greens, silvers, and golds. The iridophores work in concert with the chromatophores above them. They can provide a shimmering, colorful background over which the darker pigments of the chromatophores create patterns and textures. It's a two-layer system, adding depth and a vastly expanded color palette. But we're not done. There's a third layer, the deepest of the three, called the leucophores. If chromatophores are the pixels and iridophores are the iridescent colors, leucophores are the dynamic white background. They contain spherical protein structures that scatter ambient light in all directions, regardless of the angle. This makes the skin appear brilliantly white, or it can match the brightness of the surrounding environment, whether it's bright, sunlit water, or a dim, rocky crevice. Think of it as a biological white balance control. Together, these three layers, chromatophores for pattern and dark colors, iridophores for iridescence, and leucophores for brightness, give cephalopods a level of control over their appearance that is unparalleled in the animal kingdom. They can create uniform colors, disruptive patterns that break up their outline, and even complex, shifting displays used for communication. But their camouflage isn't just two-dimensional. Cephalopods are also masters of physical texture. An octopus hunting on a reef can go from having perfectly smooth skin to being covered in spiky, jagged protrusions in an instant, perfectly mimicking the texture of the coral or algae-covered rock it's hiding on. This is achieved by another incredible set of muscular structures in their skin, called papillae. These are bundles of muscle that can be extended or retracted, pushing the skin up into complex three-dimensional shapes. Just like the chromatophores, each papilla is under direct neural control. Visual cues from the environment tell the brain what texture to mimic, and the brain sends the precise signals to erect the papillae into the right shape, size, and configuration. It's 3D camouflage, adding a layer of deception that fools predators not just by sight, but by texture. So we have this incredibly complex system of millions of individual color and texture elements. This brings us to the brain behind the illusion. How is all of this controlled? The neural control of cephalopod camouflage is one of the most fascinating fields in neuroscience. The entire system is governed by the brain, specifically a region called the optic lobes. As their name suggests, these lobes are massive and primarily dedicated to processing visual information. In fact, a cephalopod's brain-to-body mass ratio is the largest of any invertebrate, rivaling that of many vertebrates. But here's the central paradox, the puzzle that baffled scientists for decades. Cephalopods are colorblind. Their eyes contain only one type of photoreceptor, meaning they see the world in monochrome, like an old black and white photograph. So how can they so perfectly match colors they cannot see? One leading theory focuses on their bizarrely shaped pupils. Instead of a simple circle, their pupils are often shaped like a U or a W. This unconventional shape causes a phenomenon called chromatic aberration. In a camera, this is an optical flaw where a lens fails to focus all colors to the same point, resulting in color fringing. But for cephalopods, this flaw might be a feature. The theory suggests that by slightly changing the depth of their eyeball, they can rapidly focus different wavelengths or colors of light. Even if they don't perceive blue or red as we do, their brain might be able to detect which color wavelength is sharply in focus against the background. By scanning through the spectrum, they can build a picture of the colors in their environment without ever seeing them in the traditional sense. It's a genius workaround. Another even more mind-bending idea is that their skin itself can sense light. Researchers have discovered that cephalopod skin is packed with the same light-sensitive proteins found in their eyes, called opsins. These skin opsins can detect light, completely independent of the eyes and brain. This suggests a decentralized, distributed sensory system. The skin might be performing local light-level assessments, giving the central brain a helping hand in fine-tuning the camouflage. Imagine your arm being able to detect the color of the table it's resting on and reporting that back to your brain. That's the level of biological integration we're talking about. The brain takes all this data from the eyes and possibly the skin and sends out commands. These commands travel down motor neurons, with each neuron controlling a small group of chromatophore muscles. A 2023 study published in Current Biology provided a breakthrough, showing that the neural system is hierarchical. The brain issues high-level commands, like adopt a modeled pattern or mimic that seaweed. Lower-level neural circuits in the peripheral nervous system then translate these commands into the precise firing patterns needed to control the millions of individual chromatophores and papillae. It's like a biological graphics card, executing complex rendering instructions from a central processor. This unparalleled biological mastery has, not surprisingly, caught the attention of engineers, material scientists, and even the military. This is the field of biomimicry, and cephalopods are its superstars. The most obvious application is in active, adaptive camouflage. Imagine a soldier's uniform or a vehicle's skin that doesn't just have one fixed pattern, but can instantly change to blend into any environment. Researchers at institutions like MIT and the University of California, Irvine, are building exactly that. They are creating flexible materials with multiple layers that directly mimic the cephalopod's skin. One layer might have temperature-sensitive dyes that change color, acting like chromatophores. Another layer might have structures that can be manipulated to reflect or scatter light, mimicking iridophores and leucophores. These skins are embedded with light sensors that constantly analyze the surroundings, and a microprocessor acts as the brain, telling the material which pattern and color to display. It's not just about fooling the human eye in the visible spectrum. Modern battlefields use infrared sensors to detect heat signatures. And what protein is key to the iridophores? Reflectin. It turns out that reflectin is also brilliant at manipulating infrared light. By understanding how cephalopods use this protein, scientists are developing materials that can change their thermal appearance, allowing soldiers or vehicles to vanish from heat-sensing cameras. They could appear as cold as a rock or as warm as the surrounding sand, becoming ghosts to high-tech sensors. Beyond camouflage, the very nature of cephalopods is inspiring a new generation of soft robotics. Unlike traditional robots made of rigid metal and plastic, soft robots are made from flexible, compliant materials. This is a direct inspiration from the boneless, infinitely flexible bodies of octopuses. An octopus can squeeze its entire body through any hole larger than its beak, its only hard part. Soft robots inspired by this could be invaluable for search and rescue, squeezing through rubble to find survivors. In medicine, tiny flexible robots could navigate the delicate passages of the human body to deliver drugs or perform surgery with minimal invasion. Cephalopod locomotion is also a source of inspiration. Their method of jet propulsion, sucking water into a cavity and forcefully expelling it through a funnel, is incredibly efficient and allows for rapid bursts of speed and precise maneuvering. Engineers are building underwater soft robots that use this same pulse jet system for quiet, agile, and efficient exploration of our oceans. Even at the molecular level, we are learning that amazing protein, reflectin, is being produced in labs. By controlling its assembly, scientists can create a range of programmable optical materials. Imagine windows that can instantly turn opaque for privacy or become reflective to block out heat from the sun, reducing energy costs. Or low-power electronic displays that, like cuttlefish skin, reflect ambient light instead of producing their own, leading to e-readers with vibrant, dynamic color. We're even exploring how to use these proteins to create novel biosensors. The story of cephalopod camouflage is a perfect example of how studying the natural world can spark revolutionary innovation. These creatures have spent hundreds of millions of years perfecting a system of dynamic appearance changing that we are only just beginning to understand. In their skin and in their nerves, we are discovering a blueprint for a more adaptive, resilient, and ingeniously designed future. We've gone from the biological pixel of the chromatophore to the thermal cloaking military uniform, from the 3D texture of the papillate to the flexible bodies of soft robots. The story of cephalopod camouflage is far from over. It is a story that will continue to be written, not only in the annals of biology, but also in the materials and technologies that will define the 21st century and beyond. Thanks for tuning in to G Fun Facts Online.